Give a few more minutes just in case anybody.
You notice how interested the men are?
I guess they'd like their identity being taken.
Believe me.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Deputy Scott Burke with the Indian River Sheriff's Office. Today, I'm going to teach you all about identity theft, fraud, and scams. Some of the most common phrases that if somebody calls you or if they send you an email on what to look for so you don't become a victim.
Would you like the microphone? We have one over there.
Can you hear?
Ask who can hear you.
Yeah.
Ask.
Can everybody hear me okay, or do I need to talk a little louder?
Louder.
Okay.
Oh, can't hear.
All right. My name is Deputy Scott Burke. I'm with the Indian River Sheriff's Office. Can everybody hear me now? Great. If you start to not hear me, let me know and I will talk louder. I don't have a problem with projecting my voice. I'm known to be a very loud talker anyway. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how not to become a victim to identity theft, fraud, and or scams. Everybody gets them. It happens to everybody. About 10 years ago, I was a victim of identity theft, and here I am a law enforcement officer, and I was hit. Once you get hit, it takes a little bit, but you can get through it, and you can get your stuff back in order. It just takes a little bit, and you got to stay with it. Definitions of scam, frauds, and identity theft. Fraud is a deliberate act or failure to act with the intentions to obtaining unauthorized benefits, getting into your bank account. If they don't have authorization, that is against the law, that is a fraud. Either with someone or with an institution by using deception or false suggestions of suppression of the truth. So if I call you and say, hey, we need, this, that, and I'm lying to you, that is fraud. Does everybody understand that? Does everybody understand what that means? If you don't understand something, raise your hand, ask me, and I will be more than happy to answer it for you. Unethical means by which are believed and relied upon others, which basically they're preying on other people. Scam, a confidence game or fraudulent scheme, especially for making quick profit or scandal. You ever got something in the mail or an email that says, hey, I'll send you a check. You got a check for $1 million, but you have to pay administrative fees? That would be a scam. And identity theft. Everybody knows what identity theft is, but this is the definition. Theft is the crime of obtaining personal or financial information, getting your bank account. Once they have that, they can do whatever they want with it. Of another person to use the identity to commit fraud. Now, if I use your identity and go get a credit card, that is fraud. Identity theft is committed in many different ways, and its victims are typically left with damage to their credit, finances, or reputation. Mine, there was what they did me was up in New York. Now, I've never been to New York, never lived in New York. They had, everybody knows DirecTV? They had a DirecTV account in my name. And it was over $1,000 that they said I had to pay them. And I'm like, I've never lived there. So I had to start investigating and had somebody come out, and I had to do a report on it to submit everything to the Social Security and get everything in order where DirecTV would say, okay, I guess it ain't you. Consumer Central Network, this was 2020. They don't have nothing for 2021 yet because we're still in the near. 4.7 million reports was reported of identity theft, fraud, and scams. 2.2 million reported frauds, and 34% of it was losses. which means the consumers or people such as yourself loses out. $3.3 billion in total fraud. That's how much was lost in the year 2020. $3.3 billion. It's a lot of money. And most of the time we don't even know who's doing it because it's all done by computer. How to protect your finances. Protect your personal identification. Everybody still has a debit card that they may go to the bank and you protect your PIN. Don't write it down. Try to remember an easy PIN. Don't write it down on anything, because if you lose it and then they get your debit card, now they have your PIN number. Do not write it on a card. Don't stand when you know where the keypad is on the ATM machines, right? Stand directly in front of it. That way if there is somebody standing behind you, they can't see you putting in your PIN. I do it myself. I constantly look. There's a little mirror that they have on those. I'm constantly looking behind me, making sure nobody's walking up on me. It's just something I've always done. Be ready to conduct your transaction before you reach the ATM. Have everything ready. Know what you want to do. Have a plan. When you get to your car and you're pulling up to have a plan. Have everything ready. How much money you want to get, what you need, how you need it. And if you're just going to go to the ATM, that's fine. If you're going to go in the bank, same thing. Have all your stuff ready. Make sure keep it tucked away in your purse. At night, I know a lot of people go to ATMs at night. I'm one of them. I try to find ones that are well lighted. There's a lot of light out there. That way you can see. If the light is broken at the ATM that faces the ATM, don't use it. Could be nothing. It could be they intentionally broke it to wait for somebody to come up. It happens. I'm not trying to scare you guys by any means. I'm just trying to let you know to be cautious when you go out and you're going to the ATM machines. Be observant. When you use your ATM, be cautious if anyone lingering. If you see somebody just hanging out over there, just leaning up against a tree or a wall, watching you, well, watch them. Make sure, don't make it look obvious, but know what they're doing. Make sure that they're not moving, itching up on you, walking closer and closer without you realizing it, because that's what they'll do. They'll sit there, they'll lean up against the wall, and next thing you know, they're up 2 more feet, and they'll be up another foot, and you're not really paying attention because they're doing it in sprats. Just look, remember where they were standing before and going, okay, he's moving. Let me go ahead and get my stuff and let me get out of here. Put away your money as soon as it comes out the ATM. How many have walked away from the ATM machine counting it? I do. I'm big for it. Why? Because I don't trust the ATM machine. That's the biggest reason. That's the number one reason I hear from people when something happens. Well, why were you counting your money? Because I don't trust the ATM machine. I want to make sure I got all my money. Okay, I understand that because I do the same thing. I've gotten into the habit, though, of getting my money out the ATM, going to my car, locking my doors, then counting my money. I have 10 on my window, so it's a little bit harder for them to see and to try to see what I'm doing. Don't stand around. A lot of people stand there at the ATM, or they'll walk and they'll count it. Don't do that, because that will bring attention to you. And some people are people of opportunity. They're not out looking for it, but if it presents it, they're going to do it. Always take your receipt from your ATM. Believe it or not, if you don't look, your ATM receipt has your last 4 numbers of your account number and your full name on it. And somebody that is good with computers will find your information with just that little bit. So don't throw it on the ground. I don't even throw mine in the garbage can. I take it with me. and I go home, either burn it or throw it in the garbage with the other stuff that nobody will ever see because it's in my garbage. They don't dig through actual garbage. Safe banking. Exercise caution when going to and from your bank. Again, stay alert. Know if there's anybody hanging around, lingering around, somebody that just doesn't look right, that may not look right to you. Keep your checks, all your identification, keep it in your purse or your pocketbook as you're going to and from the bank. And I'm going to keep reiterating this, always be cautious of strangers. Protect your deposit slips, checkbook. How many of you guys still have a checkbook? Make sure you keep it locked up somewhere. If you can't get a safety deposit box or a safe, I'm pretty sure you could probably put a little small filing cabinet in your room that locks and just keep it locked up. That way you don't have to worry about anybody, whether they work here or don't work here, going into your room and stealing any of your stuff. Not saying that it happens, but now it's locked away, tucked away somewhere, and you don't have to worry about it. Anything that has your account number on it, keep it locked away or have it or shred it. Get yourself a little shredder, or see if they have a shredder here that they'll let you shred your financial stuff with. Protect your bank statements. Either destroy them or keep them in a safe space, like a locked filing cabinet or a safe. I'm big on like shredding things, and there's little confetti, because you got some that are just all lines. Those are very easy to put back together with somebody that has a lot of patience and time. I like the confetti because you ain't putting that stuff back together. Don't keep large amounts of cash on you or in your room or at your house. How many of you guys keep large amounts of money, especially when you go on vacation? I know I used to. And then I'd be like, you know what? I don't have nowhere to put it, and I would take it with me, and I took the chance of being a victim. Somebody see me reaching in my pocket to take money out, they see all that cash, and now I'm getting robbed, beat up, or worst case scenario, they kill me just for my money. So what I do now, anytime I rent a hotel, I make sure there's a safe in there. Change the combination, put all my valuables in there, I shut and lock it. I only keep just a little bit amount of money that I'm going to need for the day. If you are a victim near or on your bank property and the bank is open, first thing I'm going to tell you to do is call 911. You get us there. You get us coming. Then you go inside the bank and you let the bank teller or you let the bank manager know. That way they can get any type of video or have everything ready for when we get there. They should already know what we're going to need, and that way they can go ahead and say, hey, here's what you need. Have your Social Security. How many have their checks still come to them and not deposited directly in their accounts? Good recommendation, so nobody steals your checks, is get them direct deposited into their direct deposit? Okay. No, that's a good thing. I mean, you see it, you just don't see it physically, right? Okay. That's one of the recommendations that we recommend, and the FBI and everybody recommends that you have your money direct deposited in your bank. You know, because some people will take their checks, they'll put them off to the side, they'll wait, and then they'll go and cash them. That's a good way to lose them or have somebody steal them. Go in to one of these buy here places that will cash checks, sign your name, they cash the check. We'll still find them because there's video everywhere, but now you got to go through the ordeal of trying to get a new check. Now you got to get a case number. Now you got to call the Social Security office or whatever bank sent that check to you and say, hey, it was stolen, here's the case number, and now they got to issue you a new check. And by then it's already cashed. The bank can't put a stop payment on it or Social Security can't say, well, we'll put a stop payment on it because it's already been cashed. How you doing, ma'am? Come on in. Sir, if you're interested, come on in. It's about keeping yourself protected. Use a safety deposit box. Not too many banks are offering this too much anymore. But store your valuables, your jewelry, any old jewelry, any heirlooms that you may have. Anything from your husband or your mom or your dad or your kids that is very precious, you can put it in the safe deposit box at the bank. Those ain't nobody breaking into. Very hard to break into those. If the bank that you're with don't have one and you can't find a bank that has one, try to get a safe. I have a safe in my house. It's bolted down to the floor. People are going to play really hard to get that safe out my house. Protect your financial records, social security number, driver's license number, account numbers. Again, keep them in a safe place. Don't give them out to nobody unless you know who you're giving it out to. Your doctor's office. They always ask for it. They always need it. Your banks. They need your driver's license number. They need your social security number. That's how they keep track of you. And report any lost or stolen bank cards. You have a question, ma'am?
I do, about social security numbers. Though.
Okay.
It says, ask for your last four numbers. Is that dangerous too?
It depends on who's asking for it. Because you may be going into a system like from your, I know like some doctor's offices you'll go to, they'll ask for your last four of your social so you can get information. That's how they know who you are and who's calling in and making sure it's the right person calling in. But if it's just somebody calling on the phone saying, hey, what's your last four of your social? Nah, you ain't getting it. Not for me, you ain't.
Oh, no, if they ask for my social, I don't give
Nah, I won't even give them my last four. If I don't know you and you're calling me, I'm not giving you my last four. But if it's a doctor's office or something like that, that I know, and I truly know it's them, then I'll give them my last four because I'm the one that called them. Anybody ever calls you and asks you for anything, any type of ID, hang up on them. Just hang up on them. And then notify us of any stolen items. That way we can do a report and we'll give you a case number. And if you're at the bank and that happens, the deputy and or officer should walk you into the bank and help you out with anything that you need help with up to the manager, and then the manager will probably take over from there and finish helping you out with anything that you need. Can everybody still hear me okay? Oh. Common phrases of a scam. You'll hear these. You'll see them. Anybody calls? Something for nothing. Give me, they'll send you a picture of a check. And I'll reiterate in some more on that and the next slide, I believe it is. But it's basically saying, hey, I'll give you this. I send you a check. I need you to cash it. Send me $5,000, you keep $2,000 or $3,000 or $1,000. It's a fraud. That's a scam. What they're trying to do is get you to cash it. They don't get in no trouble. You send them the money, you keep the money, and now we're the ones coming and knocking on your door asking you about the check that you just cashed. So be leery of that. Anybody that says, hey, I have a cash, a check I want you to cash, I don't have my ID, would you mind cashing it for me? No. Big money guarantee, no risk. That, you ever seen the emails where the Nigeria bank, you've won $1 million? You guys ever seen that email? I see them all the time. And they say, you got $1 million or $10 million, but all you got to do is pay the administrative fee and the taxes. And that's $1,000, but you're going to get $10 million. But people think, man, that's nothing, man. Man, I could pay $1,000, get $10 million. Man, who wouldn't want that? I know I would, but it's a scam. Cash only. Cash only deal. Listen, I don't do credit cards. I want cash only. Not saying that everything that you see or cash only is a scam. More than likely, it's a scam. Today only, don't delay. You ever been to a car dealer and they look at you and go, man, we only got a couple of them left on the lot. Don't delay. We only got a few left. That's the same tactic that somebody will use on you to get the same results as the car dealership. They're using it for a different reason because they're trying to make the sale of the car. So don't get that confused. I'm just using that because that's an analogy that I can come up with and go, you know what, that fits. Last chance. There won't be another deal like this. How many times you guys have read that? Last deal, there won't be another one like it. It's a scam. Because then a month down the road, you're going to see it again, and it's going to be same deal. Too good to be true. How many of you all said, man, this is too good to be true? I know I have, and guess what? If it's too good to be true, it usually is. It usually is too good to be true. Leftover merchandise. Oh, we just had this big concert. We got all this merchandise left over. We got boxes and boxes of shirt that you can sell. We paid this much, but we're going to sell it to you for a fraction of that. We're going to give you, we paid $1,000, but you're only going to pay a couple $100 for $1,000 worth of merchandise. It's a scam. It's going to be a scam. Get rich quick scheme. I know we've all heard of those. Pyramids, right? Get rich. I get you to buy under me, and then you get her to buy under you, and then she gets buy under you, and then I sit back and reap all the benefits, and you guys are barely making any money. That's how those work. Limited time offer. Kind of goes with today only, last chance. It's kind of the same thing. This one here is going to really fit you guys very well. Debt collection. Scammers. Send you an email or a letter. May look a little official, but it's not. And the scammers will pose as the debt collector, and they'll even pose as us. Hey, it happened to the sheriff himself. Hey, I'm Sheriff Eric Flowers. You got a warrant out for your arrest. You need to pay $1,000 or we're going to come and arrest you. We won't do that. We're not going to call you and tell you that if you don't pay this money, that we're going to come and arrest you. Just ain't going to happen. We will not do that. I promise you that. Debt collectors, if they do that and if they try that, find out who they are and then call the Federal Trade Commission and the Business Bureau and report them, because they are not supposed to threaten you at all, period. If they threaten you, they can get in a lot of trouble. They're not supposed to threaten people at all, by no means. This one here is big. How many of you guys, how many of you ladies in here and gentlemen have grandkids? Just about every one of you, right? Love your grandkids. No doubt about that. Everybody loves their grandkids. You have grandkids? No? But I'm sure y'all love your grandkids, right? If you ever get a phone call and say, hey, grandma or grandpa, I'm getting ready to get arrested. I need you to send me a couple $1,000. Are you going to do it? What they're trying to do is they're trying to pry. They're trying to pry at your strings for the love of your grandkids, because they know grandparents love their grandkids and they'll do anything for them. Just like you would your own kids. You love your own kids and you'll do anything for them if they need you to. That's just part of being a parent, being a grandparent. And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to tug at your guys' strings for the love of your grandkids to get you to pay them money. if you're not sure if it is your grandkids, if you ask them their mom's name, they're going to know because they've already did their homework. They've already found out everything that they think that you may ask, and they're going to have an answer for it. Come up with a safe word. Get with your daughter or your son and your grandkids and say, hey, if you ever call me and I'm not sure it's you, I'm going to ask you a certain word. And this is the certain word I'm going to ask you. And try to remember that. And then when they do call, something like that happens, you don't even have to go, what's your name? What's the safe word? You're going to have a blank on the phone or they may hang up. Because now they know, okay, I'm not going to get them. And then they'll move on to the next person and try the next person. Don't ever pay it. Even if your heart is telling you, God, but this is my grandchild, this is my granddaughter or my grandson, God, I got to pay it. Hang up. Because they're going to tell you, please don't tell mom, please don't tell dad. I don't want them to know. Hang up and call them and say, hey, I just got a phone call saying that so-and-so was in trouble. Is he okay? I'm a little worried now. I want to make sure he's okay. I'm pretty sure mom and dad's going to know. Or mom and dad's going to be like, well, let me call you back. And then call their son or daughter and say, yeah, he's fine. That is the biggest one when it comes to the elderly. Because they know that they're going to pull at your guys' heartstring when it comes to their kids. They're going to come up with a sad story. Oh, grandma or granddaddy, I was in a car accident and I'm hurt and I got to pay the hospital $5,000 or they're not going to take care of me. How many people may start going, oh man, okay, let me see what grandma or granddaddy can do. I'll help you out. What do I got to send the money? That's their first natural reaction. It's because now their grandchild's hurt. It's a scam. Because a hospital will take care of you whether you got the ability to pay for it or not. They have to, by law. Bank scams. The Nigeria one I just talked about. They'll even send you a picture of the check and say, hey, you can have this, but you gotta pay. Or they'll send you an email. This is a big one. They'll send you an email with your account and saying, hey, there's been suspicious activity on your account, your bank account. Please click the link or call this 1-800 number. Do not click on the link and do not call that 1-800 number. You click on that link, and what's going to happen is it's going to open up a spyware, malware, and it's just going to create some type of spyware on your computer. And then now you're going to have to take it to somebody and go, hey, that's the whole goal. That's their whole goal, is to try to get into your computer so they can get your information. That 1-800 number, yeah, somebody's going to answer. And the first question is going to be, what's your account number? How many times you got a call? I just got one, I don't know, probably a month ago. Oh, this is so-and-so from the IRS. I'm going to arrest you. You got a warrant out for your arrest. Because there was suspicious activity on your bank account from out of Mexico. Okay. Well, if you got a warrant for my arrest, come down and get me. That's what I always tell them. Come down and get me then. I think it's funny because they don't know, because their question, what's your Social Security number? I don't know. You called me. You should have all my information. Is my always return. Well, this is a serious matter. There's a warrant for your arrest. Okay. Well, if there is, then come and get me. But we need your social to make sure. No, you tell me what my social is. And after about the second or third time, they'll usually just hang up because they know they're not going to get you. Free money. Again, Nigeria, $10 million check. I'll send you this. If you did win something, it'll come in a certified letter from UPS, United Postal Service, or FedEx. How many of y'all know Publishers Clearinghouse? That's one of the biggest winning series that I can remember since I was a kid. They're not going to send you a certified letter. They're not going to call you. They're going to come knocking on your door with video cameras, balloons. That's how the Publishers Clearinghouse is going to come to you. No matter where you live, that's how they're going to come. So if it's something from Publishers Clearinghouse saying you won money, but you need to send, just throw it in the garbage. Because that's not how they're coming. If they're telling you you won $1 million, no, they're going to come with a person, they're going to come with a television crew, and they're going to have balloons, and they're going to make a big deal out of it because they want the public to see that. Why? So people keep purchasing from them. That's the whole big thing with them. Thank you. That is the end of my presentation for today. Does anybody have any questions?